If you are bored with the old game, don't worry guys. There are many new games that you can play in 2023. Maybe you guys are a little confused about choosing which game is great for you to play. Before installing a random game on your PC or console, it would be nice for you to see the recommendations for the best new games that I have summarized in this video. Here are top 13 best new games in 2023 for PC and console. Some of them will be released this month. So without any further ado, let's get started. Octopath Traveler 2. Octopath Traveler 2 is an upcoming role-playing video game developed by Square Enix and acquired and published by Square Enix. It is a sequel to Octopath Traveler 2018 and the third entry in the series after the prequel mobile game Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent 2020, though it features a new cast of characters and setting separate from prior games. It is scheduled for a worldwide release on February 24, 2023. Similar to the first Octopath Traveler, the game plays as a traditional JRPG. The player moves between 8 separate characters, each with their own purpose for traversing the game world. New to the sequel is there being distinct, daytime, and nighttime, segments of gameplay, with path actions being different depending on the time of day. For example, the player can choose to make the character Hikari dual characters in the daytime, in hopes of learning new skills for battle, but at night, there is the separate option to instead spend in-game currency to bribe characters for information or items. The game retains the turn-based battle system of the first game as well, including the break and boost systems. Every enemy has a number of hidden weakness attributes related to being weak to particular weapons or elements. New to the battle system are latent powers, which function similar to limit breaks in Final Fantasy, moves that can only be accessed once a gauge builds up over the course of a battle.
Sorry about that.
Who cares? No.
SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake is a 2023 platform game developed by Purple Lamp Studios and published by THQ Nordic. In this colorful romp, you play the titular SpongeBob as he travels through alternative dimensions, each wilder than the last. Along the way, he's accompanied by an adorable Patrick Star variant, who bobs along in each new world. The Cosmic Shake is technically not a sequel, but it can be considered a spiritual successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom and the other classic SpongeBob platforming games. It retains the same gameplay and sense of adventure that its predecessors shared, and should be a delightful new chapter in the SpongeBob video game mythos. Whether you're a nostalgic adult, or you're considering new game releases for a younger child, this adventure looks like a blast. Olli World. Olli World is a 2D platforming skateboarding game. The game takes place in Radlandia, where the player can interact with the game's characters and take on side quests. To get high scores, the player is required to chain together tricks in order to get combos. The player can ride walls and grind on rails to increase their score. Olli World introduces elements new to the franchise, such as quarter pipes and branching paths. The game has a hand-drawn art style, in contrast to the pixel art of previous entries. The game was released in February 2022. The game received generally favorable reviews by critics. Evil Dead the Game. Evil Dead the Game is an asymmetrical multiplayer survival horror game based on the Evil Dead franchise. It was developed and published by Saber Interactive. It features cooperative gameplay and player versus player (PvP) combat. The game features a level-up system, as well as skill tree mechanics. It will also feature multiple maps, including the cabin in the woods from the Evil Dead film series, along with over 25 weapons, including Ash's chainsaw and boomstick. At launch, the game features 4 playable survivor classes: leaders, warriors, hunters and supports, and 4 playable demons: the warlord, the puppeteer, the necromancer and the plaguebringer. Evil Dead the game was released for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One and Xbox Series X on May 13, 2022. It will be released for Nintendo Switch at a later date. It was made available for free to PlayStation Plus subscribers on February 7, 2023. A Space for the Unbound. A Space for the Unbound is an adventure video game developed by Mojiken Studio and published by Toge Productions. It was released on January 19, 2023. Set in the late 1990s, the game follows Adma and his girlfriend Raya, who live in rural Indonesia. They explore their newly attained magical abilities and deal with supernatural powers that threaten their existence. The player controls Adma, a high school student in Indonesia, who is getting close to graduation with his girlfriend Raya. Through the powers of a red book that Adma finds, he gains the ability to space dive into people's minds and help fix their problems through puzzles that the player completes. The player is able to interact with people, objects, and cats throughout the game. The game also features a number of cats, which the player can pet and name. The game designer's focus was capturing what it felt like to grow up in Indonesia in the 1990s and wanted to preserve his memories as an Indonesian through the game. Reception to the game from critics was positive, with reviews focusing on the game's solid sense of place and heartfelt story. Sifu. Sifu is an action beat-em-up game played from a third-person perspective. The game, which is inspired by Bak Mei Kung Fu, includes over 150 unique attacks. Basic attack moves can be chained together, though some combos may grant players additional tactical opportunities, such as being able to knock down enemies or stun them. When the player dies in the game, they are magically resurrected at the spot where they die and age several years. As the player character ages, their strikes will be more powerful, but they will have less health. Eventually, it will no longer be possible to revive, and the next death will end the game. Players will encounter shrines, which will be the place where they heal and unlock new skills. They can also visit the Wugwan, a kung fu school, to practice their skills in between levels. The game was released on the 8th of February 2022. It received generally positive reviews, with praise for its combat, environments, and story, and sold more than 1 million units within 1 month of release. Stray. Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cybercity and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. The player controls a stray cat, leaping across platforms and climbing up obstacles, and can open new paths by interacting with the environment, such as climbing in buckets, overturning paint cans, operating a vending machine, and clawing at objects. They solve puzzles to progress the narrative, often involving moving obstacles. Optional activities include sleeping, meowing, and nuzzling up to non-player characters, most of which often elicit a response. Some levels have open-world elements, allowing the player to roam at their freedom. The player is accompanied by a drone companion, B12, who assists by translating the language of other characters, storing items found throughout the world, providing light, and hacking into various technologies to open paths and solve puzzles. The world is populated by robots, who often employ the player to locate objects that reveal more information and progress the narrative. Stray features 2 types of enemies who can kill the player: Zerks, a large, mutated bacteria that can swarm and devour the cat, and Sentinels, security drones who will attempt to shoot the player upon spotting them. Stray is developed by Blue 12 Studio, a small team from south of France mostly made of cats and a handful of humans. Stray was announced in 2020 and became highly anticipated. Following some delays, it was released on the 19th of July 2022. The game received accolades at the Game Awards and Golden Joystick Awards. Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart is an FPS video game with action role-playing elements. The combat in the game consists of shooting and slashing with improvised weapons. A wide variety of enemies is featured, which may be mechanical, biomechanical, biological, and some of which are airborne. There is a crafting system where the weapons can be pieced together from metal parts that can be detached from robots or taken from household appliances. Weapons can also be upgraded via a mechanic called cassettes. Ammo in the game is scarce, and there is a sneaking option. Quick time events are also featured in the game. The player wears a special glove, the polymer glove, which grants him powers such as telekinesis, freezing, and electricity to defeat his foes. Its powers can be combined with both melee and ranged weapons. The game is planned for release on February 21, 2023. Piece Odyssey. One Piece Odyssey is an RPG project filled with the unique elements of adventure from One Piece that has been highly desired by fans. A brand new RPG set in the world of the popular anime, One Piece. Defeat new enemies, unravel ancient mysteries, and experience pure adventure with your favorite Straw Hats. Players can step into the shoes, sandals, and hooves of Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, and Brook. In addition to varied combat prowess, each character also offers a unique exploration skill, such as Luffy's Gum Gum slingshot traversal and Zoro's ability to cut down barriers. Play as members of the Straw Hat crew in a fantastic adventure set in the One Piece world. Dead Space Remake. Dead Space Remake is a 2023 survival horror video game developed by Motive Studio and published by Electronic Arts. A remake of the 2008 game of the same name developed by EA Redwood Shores, it was released on January 27, 2023, for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S. It is the first release in the Dead Space series since 2013's Dead Space 3. The game received generally favorable reviews from critics, with general praise for its improvements to the original. The sci-fi survival horror classic Dead Space returns, completely rebuilt from the ground up to offer a deeper, more immersive experience. This remake brings jaw-dropping visual fidelity, suspenseful atmospheric audio, and improvements to gameplay while staying faithful to the original game's thrilling vision. Elden Ring. Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in a third-person perspective, with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration. It features elements similar to those found in other games developed by From Software, such as the Dark Souls series, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Set in an open world, players are allowed to freely explore the lands between and its 6 main areas. These locations range from Limgrave, an area featuring grassy plains and ancient ruins, to Caelid, a wasteland home to undead monsters. Open-world areas are explorable using the character's mount, Torrent, as the primary mode of transportation, along with the ability to fast travel outside of combat. The game contains crafting mechanics, which require materials in order to create items. To craft a certain item, the player must have the item's crafting recipe. Elden Ring has a multiplayer system that allows players to be summoned for both cooperative and player versus player (PvP) play over the internet. Elden Ring received critical acclaim, with praise directed towards its open world, gameplay systems, and setting, although some criticism went towards its technical performance. It won several Game of the Year awards and sold more than 17.5 million copies by October 2022. Forspoken. Forspoken is a 2023 action role-playing game developed by Luminous Productions and published by Square Enix. It was released on January 24, 2023.
Don't just stand there!
Mysteriously transported from New York City, Frey Holland finds herself trapped in the breathtaking land of Athea. Frey soon learns this beautiful land once flourished under the reign of benevolent matriarchs, called Tantas, until a devastating blight relentlessly corrupted everything it touched. The break transformed animals into beasts, men into monsters, and rich landscapes into 4 dangerous realms. At the center of their shattered domains, the Tantas now rule as maddened and evil sorceresses. Frey's journey through this strange and treacherous land will take her deep into the heart of corruption, where she must battle monstrous creatures, confront the powerful Tantas, and uncover secrets that awaken something much more from within.
Still be a way to find them.
How so?
Our friend.
The player character, Frey, has access to a variety of magical spells. Following each combat encounter, the player earns experience points. Frey's cloak can be upgraded in order to improve her combat efficiency and stats, while applying nail polish unlocks special abilities. The player can also craft new items, or rest at a safe location in order to restore health. While the player is exploring the game world, they may encounter a Breakstorm, a scenario similar to a Horde mode in which waves of demonic creatures spawn and attack Frey. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is an immersive open-world action RPG developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Bros. Now you can take control of the action and be at the center of your own adventure in the Wizarding World. The game is set in the Wizarding World universe, based on the Harry Potter novels. Taking place before the events of the novels, the player controls a student at the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry in 1899 who learns to wield different magical abilities and objects, aided by other students and professors. Level progression allows the player to access and upgrade different spells, talents, and abilities. The player character learns to cast various magical spells, brew potions and master combat abilities. Player characters can establish friendships with interactable non-player characters. As these relationships grow, schoolmates become companions who can accompany players on their journey, expand their abilities, and offer unique dialogue options as players learn their stories. The game received generally favorable reviews from critics, with praise for the combat, world design, and characters.
The good news is I do.
That's the end of our list. We hope you find something enjoyable to play. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and comment below. Subscribe Easton OK to get more about the best games. See you on my next video.